All right, welcome America. Welcome, I almost said Justin Bieber. Welcome, who are we welcoming? Taylor Swift. Hey, Tay Tay. Thank you, Zara, for my hat, my Wegmans hat. She brought it to me on the last day of school last year in her cap and gown. That made me cry. Today, we are going to be doing one problem on midpoint. So we are going to write an equation from a diagram, which is a really hard concept at the beginning of the year in geometry. By the end of the year, it will be really simple for you guys. It happens every single year. It's a new skill. So let's go ahead and start. So we look at our diagram, and they give us this information. They tell us that M is the midpoint of AB. And it might be kind of hard to see online, but there's a capital M at the center here, and this is a line segment AB. And they have given us these markings right here. And there are 3 on both sides, and you really only need 1, but they put 3, and that's fine. They're the same. What that means, what those marks mean, is that those segments are the exact same length, which makes the point in the middle, and usually the midpoint is denoted with a capital M, but it's not always a capital M. It could be another capital letter. But those are the same length. They tell us that length of AM is 2x plus 3, AM. When we get information and it's not on our diagram, the best thing to do is to write it on the diagram first. I know you can't do that on this slide, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just so you can visualize it. 2x plus 3. They also tell us that MB is 68 minus 3x. Does anyone have a suggestion? This is different than the last couple we did. Anyone have a suggestion on how we could write an equation from this diagram? Owen?
You add them both together, and in between the 3 and 68, you add a plus sign?
Just like the last problem.
Yeah.
Right? The last 2 problems that we did told us that this length, and they gave us the length, it was something like this. You know, it was like 25. I'm just like making stuff up, right? So we knew that this plus this equaled this length. This one's a little different than the last 2. This one's actually totally different. Let me back up here. They didn't tell us the length of the entire segment. So we can't add them together and say they're equal to some number because they didn't tell us the number. But we are going to do that again. Just not in this problem. Any other suggestions?
Could we set it equal to 0?
What will we set equal to 0?
2x plus 3 plus 68 minus 3x equals 0.
That is a really common tool, I guess I would say, that we use when we are mainly in algebra and a lot of times in algebra 2. But the length of this segment is not going to be 0. That would say, if we set it to 0, that would say that this plus this equals 0. And this is a length, and a length is always positive. So, I know this is new, and it's totally new. We've never seen this before. But they did tell us that this segment is the same length as this segment. How do we say things are the same in math, in an equation? Equal sign. So, how would that look as an equation?
2x plus 3 equals 68.
That's it. 2x plus 3 equals 68 minus 3x. You guys are giving great suggestions. 2x plus 3 equals 68 minus 3x. So now we've seen some problems where these lengths add up to a total. And now we've seen where they are set equal to each other. Every diagram is different. We have to look at the diagram and figure out what the equation is for that diagram. All right, so now we've got variables on both sides. That's just a dot there. That's not supposed to be. I'll just write that. Okay. So I like my x's to be positive. So I'm gonna move my x's to the left because that way I'll keep them positive. So that makes us 5x plus 3 equals 68. Those canceled. Now we're going to subtract 3. You guys can use the calculator at the top, which is that button right there. Sometimes I remember to add them when I create these slides, and I actually, in fact, remember to put it up here. However, you don't need that, because when you divide by 5, I'm going to show you how to do this in your head. We know that 5 goes into 65 evenly, because 65 ends in a 5, right? Those are the divisibility rules. If a number ends in a 0 or a 5, 5 is going to go in evenly. So 5 is a factor of 65. In your head, you're doing this. How many times is 5 going to 65? Now, on paper, hold on just a second. When you're doing long division looks like this. 5 into 6 goes 1 time. 1 times 5 is 5, and then you'd subtract the 5 from the 6, and you bring the 1 down, and then carry the 5 down like that. 5 is in 15 3 times. Does this look familiar? It's called long division. I'm going to review it with you later in the year. Don't worry if you don't know how to do it right now. Okay? But the shortcut to this in your head is, all right, how many times is 5 going to 65? Are you serious? I love it when the bell rings and there's announcements while I'm teaching and recording.
You have a blue Hyundai parked in the rear of the building by the cafeteria. Your door is left open. If you have a blue Hyundai parked in the rear by the cafeteria, the door is open.
That was a great addition to my recording. This is so great. Documented for all time. All right, 5. So in your head, 5 is into 6 once with 1 left over. So in your head, you're putting the 1 in front of 5. 5 is into 15 3 times. Done. So what did I just do? I found x. X is 13. I'm running out of room here. This is so messy. I'm really rusty with recording. I'll get better. So what do? We solve for x. Then as soon as we find x, we have to go up to the top of the problem and read the problem again and see if that's what it's asking for, because sometimes it is asking for the value of x, and we're done. But today we're not done, because it's asking for us to find AB, the length of AB. AB is the entire segment. Good job, Cheryl. So we've got a couple options, but we could say 2x plus 3 plus 68 minus 3x equals, x is 13. Okay, so we could plug our 13 in here and here and add them up. I think it's easier, since these segments are the same lengths. I'm just gonna erase. No, did I? To figure out what 2x plus 3 is, and then just times it by 2. So AM is 2 times our new x plus 3. And what is that? Sorry?
29.
And then, since AM is 29, I'll rewrite that. AM plus MB should be 29 times 2. And what's that? Sorry, I can't hear you.
58.
Excellente! And that is the length of AB, 58. So I should write AB equals 58. I know there's not a lot of room for you to write this. If you could write it on paper, you can. This is our last slide, so I can leave this up. Does anyone have any other questions on this? How'd I do? All right, America and Taylor Swift. I got a lot of thumbs up. Okay, all right. Thanks for coming out. Peace out.